Hi, I'm Sarah Studdard with People for Bikes. Thanks for joining us in this series as we share our passion for making biking better for everyone. To help communities benchmark their progress and establish goals for future improvement, our Places for Bikes City Ratings program provides an annual assessment of your city's biking network, the collection of trails, bike lanes, and quiet neighborhood streets that help people get where they need to go and travel safely on two wheels. Provincetown, Massachusetts, on the northern tip of Cape Cod, scored high in our U.S. City Ratings program. With a population of just under 3,000 people and 5 bike shops, Provincetown is built like a small New England village. Development is dense in Provincetown, and no highways bisect it. Getting from one end of town to the other is about a 7-minute bike ride. Even though Provincetown is small, there are lessons to be learned from cities of any size. To learn what makes Provincetown such a great place for biking, we spoke with Rick Alberg, chair of the Provincetown Bicycle Committee.
Bikes have been in Provincetown pretty much since they were invented. They predated the motor vehicle. 70% of Provincetown is Cape Cod National Seashore, so it's dunes and forests and ponds and things like that. But the part of town, if you look at a map, that's right on the waterfront, is only about 3 miles long, and that one street runs the entire length. And when cars started to get bigger and people wanted on-street parking, it had been two-way for its lifespan. So in the 20th century, they decided to make it one-way. And at that point, people said, well, I'm still riding my bike in both directions, right? So it was maintained as two-way for bikes and just one-way for cars. And there are bike racks absolutely everywhere. We made a big push when I joined the town's bicycle committee to make sure that there are bike racks at all of the municipal buildings, so town hall, the library, anywhere you go. Also, bike signage that helps with some wayfinding to tell people how far it is and also how long it takes to get somewhere. We adopted the APBP standards. That's the Association for Pedestrian and Bicycle Professionals. They have a great bike rack guide. The town's planning board actually adopted that, and now it's used as the standard.
An abundance of low-cost investments like bike racks can help cities send a message that bicycling is an expected and accepted mode of transportation. Every place is different though, and what works to encourage bikes in one place might not in another. For that reason, it can be incredibly helpful to build public support locally through diverse coalitions. Engaging people from different backgrounds is crucial to create political will and get folks excited about biking.
The Provincetown's Bicycle Committee, I think like a lot of committees in a lot of towns, was created because someone was killed on a bicycle in town. The committee was formed really to do education, and it was focused on educating people who ride bikes as opposed to educating motorists. And it's come a long way. It went from kind of just doing education and printing a brochure, and that was really kind of all that the committee did. And then they got engaged in the master planning process for the region. We give out bike lights, we do bike registration, things like that to try to reach a broader audience. But when there's big projects coming, we've also reached out to housing developments, the affordable housing developments in town, the senior apartments in town to make sure, do they need a bike rack? Is there something missing there?
Each summer, Provincetown swells with tourists, drawn to the scenic beaches, small town charm, and LGBTQ+ festivities. Although Provincetown has long been known as an inclusive destination for visitors, it also strives to be a place where everyone feels comfortable getting around, whether they're in a car, on a bike, using a wheelchair, or on foot. Provincetown has found guidance in the Complete Streets movement, where all roads are planned, designed, and maintained to enable safe, convenient, comfortable travel for all users, regardless of age, ability, or mode of transportation.
Provincetown has really narrow streets, really old street infrastructure. It's hard to overlay some elaborate complete streets thing, but there are small kind of tactical things that can be done. Narrow the street at street corners, at intersections, add more visible crosswalk to show to motorists that these are kind of high visibility areas, watch out for pedestrians. I think you can take elements of kind of a complete streets philosophy and apply little pieces to your local scenario. And it's really important to do it using the local context, not to just take some template. Tourists often seem like a really hard group to reach because there's so many of them. I mean, it's a town of 3,000 and there can be 60 to 90,000 visitors here in a given day at the peak of the summer season. So how do you reach those folks? Well, the education efforts, there's actually a brochure, a bike map and safety guide that the committee puts out. We do a print run of 25,000 every year that goes to all the bike shops, and most of our streets are 20 miles per hour or lower as well. And that makes a huge difference in people feeling like they're not competing in a race with motor vehicles. Small towns can do a lot.
Achieving success requires that we create a culture that not only embraces bicycles, but encourages residents and tourists alike to use them year-round. Building low-stress, complete streets is important no matter the size of your town, as is engaging a diverse coalition of stakeholders in your community. Thanks for joining us as we looked at what makes Provincetown an amazing place for riding bikes. Visit our City Ratings website for more tools and resources that will improve the health, livelihood, and future of our streets, cities, and planet. Together, let's create a better world through bikes.